All right, welcome everybody. My name is Jonathan Maddock. I am a subject matter expert here at Redtail Technology, and I welcome you all to this month's Partner Spotlight. And this month we're going to be talking with Everplans. For those of you who aren't familiar, Everplans is a life and legacy planning tool helping financial advisors to collaborate with their clients to organize, store, and share a plan for their family in case something happens to them. In doing so, Everplans helps advisors differentiate their practice, establish deeper and more meaningful relationships with their clients, and create better relationships with their clients' heirs. With me today, I have Harris Scher. Harris has focused his 17-year business development career partnering with financial services firms to understand their challenges and help meet their business objectives. Prior to joining Everplans, Harris spent 14 years at Bloomberg LP, focused on helping financial institutions with their data, technology, and regulatory needs. Harris has had an opportunity to work with hundreds of financial advisors, helping them grow and develop their practice by leveraging the Everplans platform. So welcome, Harris.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. Thanks for having us today.
Absolutely, yeah. So I really like what you guys got going on over there at Everplans. Hopefully today what we'll go ahead and do is just kind of show what makes you guys so great and unique, but also kind of touch on that integration between the two. So before we get started, I'm actually going to go ahead and move into Redtail, and I want to show anybody who is not familiar with on how to turning on integrations to go ahead and do so that everything that you learn for the remainder of this webinar, you can go ahead and apply immediately. So we'll go ahead and start from the Today page. We're going to head up to the Manage Your Integration section. And again, we're going to go ahead and into the Enabled and Disabled list. You will see we have Everplans currently turned on, but if it's not already turned on, we can then go ahead and do is head up to the top left and click the Disabled list. These are going to be all the integrations that are currently turned off. All you need to go ahead and do is hit the On button, and then it will actually move over onto the Enabled side. Then from here, you can go ahead and hit the little cog here. You can click the Settings, and that'll you go ahead and turn on that single sign-on. Or what you also have the ability to do is hit the Support button, and it's actually going to bring you to the Redtail Help Desk. That's going to give you all the information on how to set up this integration as well. To show the functionality and probably go over a lot of the things that we're going to cover today. So that's going to go ahead and how to turn that the integration on. Other than that, I'm actually going to go ahead and pass it over to you, Harris, and you can go ahead and do your thing.
Great. Well, thank you so much again. We're excited to be partnered with Redtail, and we're really excited about all the feedback that we've been receiving from so many advisors who are already leveraging the integration that we created together. So thank you so much. And just to confirm, I want to make sure that you can see the Redtail CRM screen. Jonathan, you can see that?
Yeah, looks good.
All right, so let's get started. So as Jonathan mentioned, for those of you who might not be familiar, Everplans is a life and legacy tool, and it was designed to help people become organized and to store and then eventually share all of their important information with those people in their lives that are important to them. We're excited about the integration, and I'm going to take you through the experience first from the financial advisor, and then I'm going to show you what the experience is like for your clients. Now, just to share a little bit of history about who Everplans is, we got started 7 years ago when our two co-founders saw this need in the marketplace where there were all these really great places where people went for all of the different stages of life. So when someone was getting married, they went to the wedding channel. When someone was, having a baby, there are lots of different resources and tools out there. But there was no place out there for what we then called, and you'll get a laugh out of this, we then called it end-of-life planning. Thankfully, we don't call it end-of-life planning anymore. We call it life and legacy planning. So we developed the first place for people to go where they can not only find content and resources and checklists and lots of great information to support them in those later years and for that planning that just wasn't out there, but we then created a platform to help people become organized around their most important wishes. Everything from how to write a will, information about their different accounts, their financial accounts, their insurance policies, to things like their favorite recipe or how they want to be taken care of in their later years. And we're going to walk you through that over the next few minutes. But first, let's start with the experience and what that's like from the advisor's perspective, from your perspective. And you're all very familiar with this screen here. Right now, I'm in a contact, Michael Sheldon, who's one of my contacts that I have not yet invited to create an Everplan. And one of the aspects of the integration that we created is, as Jonathan mentioned, single sign-on, but it's also the ability to create a draft of the Everplan for your client right from the Redtail CRM. So you'll see here on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, integration, and I'm already in one of my contacts, Michael Sheldon, which has some information already filled out. I'm going to click integrations, and it's going to show me all the integrations that I have the ability to connect to. And I'm going to click here, Everplans, integrate with Everplans. And what this is going to allow me to do is send this contact record into the Everplans experience, and it's going to start that process. And you're going to see here that it's going to let me choose which advisor. In this example, it's Michael Acme. And I'm going to send it to Everplans. And what's going to open up is what that experience is like for the financial advisor so that they can start to pre-populate the Everplan for that particular client, Michael Sheldon. So taking a step back for a second, what we see is that a lot of the financial advisors that we're working with are all looking to create unique experiences for their clients and really differentiate their practices by providing additional value to their clients outside of investment management and outside of asset management, which are expected, obviously, by their financial advisor. So what you'll see here, we're now in this example here, Michael Sheldon, and financial advisors are going in and pre-populating the Everplan for their clients. And what makes this really nice with our integration with Redtail is that there's a minimal amount of work that needs to be done in order for you to show your clients a lot of value. So here, it created the shell and the draft of that Everplan for Michael Sheldon. It's showing me all of these different sections that imported right from Redtail. So you'll see here that if I clicked into financial advisors, it's showing me the information about Michael Acme, my financial advisor, which came right from Redtail. Or if I was to click in here in one of these other sections that you'll see highlighted, like financial accounts and assets, you'll see here that this information was imported right from Redtail. And what it allows me to do as a next step is invite that client into my office, or maybe it's over the phone or via the web, and show them some of the information that I've already taken the liberty to fill out for them, and then use this as an opportunity, almost as a roadmap, to drive the conversation that I want to have with that client before even handing over the Everplan for them to then fill out. So that's important. We're seeing advisors who go in, they pre-populate the Everplan with this integration with Redtail, and then they use this as a roadmap to start to ask questions about all these other aspects and all of these other areas of their client's life. So I'll start to ask them, tell me about other insurance products you have, or do you have any other professionals in your life that you rely on, like an estate attorney or someone who created a will with you? And it allows them to really start to fill this Everplan out before handing it over to the client, who will then have their own user experience, but will then also be able to fill out some of this other information with their family members and other loved ones. And we keep hearing every single day from financial advisors who hear from their clients that their clients are thanking them for helping them get this kickstarted. We know that if you just gave this out to your client and you said, here's this thing I invested in, it's really valuable, it's really important, and I think it's really critical for you to do this with your family, they're going to be appreciative and they're going to be grateful that you invested in this and gave it to them. But if you took that liberty of helping them to get it filled out, not only are you showing them your value and that you have put effort and that you're delivering this thing to them that is going to be really important for them and their family, but you're now showing them that you took the liberty of doing this for them, and it's now taking this burden off of their shoulders so that now they can go and fill out some of this other information with their loved ones. So what we're looking at here is the main dashboard that each financial advisor that we work with receives. It's the tool that would allow you to add new clients. So if you didn't have a client already set up from Redtail, you can add an individual or multiple members of a household. You can also manage how active your clients are. So here in this example, this is a snapshot of all of the clients that I invited to create an Everplan. You'll see that I've added 69 clients, 38 of them that are still active, and 14 of them that still need to accept their invitation. You'll see here also that I can manage some high-level insights. And as we get into the platform and you see how that experience works for our clients, this will make even a lot more sense. But you'll see here that we have all of these clients who have recently logged in. You know, Irving Belsky here is one that's been extremely active. He's logged in 658 times and has completed 20 sections. And if we drill down into this example, Irving Belsky, what we're also going to find is that it gives me high-level insights into those sections that have been filled out. So here I can tell that Irving Belsky, my client, has recently updated certain sections. He has a pretty decent amount of information added to the Everplan. He also added deputies, and at Everplans, we call the people that you share your Everplan with deputies. And we're going to talk about that in a few more minutes, but you'll see here that Irving Belsky has updated specific sections, and it might be enough of a reason for me to reach out to that client and show him that I care about this and use it as an opportunity to uncover gaps and potential requirements in his plan. So let's log in as Irving Belsky and see what that experience is like from that client's perspective. So we're going to log in, and as I mentioned, Everplans, it's a life and legacy tool, and what we're finding from financial advisors like yourselves is that it's being used in three main areas, three main ways. We're seeing that advisors are using it to do more extensive fact-finding with their clients. So as I showed you those different categories, advisors are using it to help drive the conversations that they're having with their clients. We're also finding that financial advisors are using Everplans as a way to differentiate their practices, right? They're looking to compete with the robos and the less expensive alternatives that are out there. And by adding new types of services like an Everplan, it's allowing them to talk about things that are outside of just asset management, positioning them as that quarterback for the entire family. And then the third piece is the most interesting, and it's a topic that Everplans has been asked to speak about at a lot of the different industry conferences that we're associated with. And that's about the topic of multi-generational planning. We see, and we've all read about all of these different statistics that are out there where the likelihood of advisors holding on to assets after a transfer of wealth takes place is very, very low. We know that financial advisors, on average, get fired about 95% of the time from that next generation. And the irony is that most advisors actually feel really confident that they're going to hold on to those assets. But all of the different studies out there show that the relationships are simply not there between the financial advisors and those next generations. And our tool, because of the sharing component of Everplans, allows for really easy and seamless and non-salesy relationships to be developed between financial advisors and their clients' children. And we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail over the course of the rest of this demo. So let me show you what that experience is like so that you can really understand what Everplans is all about. So the Everplans product is broken down into three core categories. You've got storage, you've got guidance, and sharing. So we'll start with storage. And as we know, there are a lot of different places that people go today to store information. If you're talking about something that's really archaic and old, you know, we can think about the old box in the basement or the folder that stores all the documents. Really archaic and tend to not really get that much usage because people just don't know what to put in a box or in a folder. We know that there are some more modern technologies out there, like different types of vaults, and those are better because they're online and they're digital, but they tend not to get too much usage because just like that box or that folder, people don't know what to put in them. So if I gave you a box or a folder or an empty vault, you know, they tend to not get that much engagement because people aren't really sure where to go. Everplans is the other end of that spectrum. Our entire tool and experience was developed understanding that people need to be pointed in the right direction and that people need guidance so that they can understand what's most important to be stored. So our storage, our secure storage, consists of these 6 categories that you see on the left-hand side: my life, health and medical, financial, legal, elder care, and after I'm gone. And as I expand these categories, they break out into 29 sections in total. And I'm going to show you a few of them so that you can understand the depth and breadth of information that each category includes and the interactive nature of each section of the Everplan. And I'll start with homes and real estate, where you'll see it's not just about the address of that property, and it's not just about whether or not there might be an insurance product related to that, but you'll see that it's about all the other intricacies that are related to that property. It might be an insurance policy, but more than that, is it a policy of a property that you own or that you rent? Is it a utility provider? What we find from all of our experience in working with advisors and their clients is that it's typically one member of a household that knows about all of this stuff, and then the other member of the household is left in the dark. So it's about all that information related to that property. In the old days, if we went back greater than 15 or 20 years, people used to wait at home for the mail to come to figure out what types of accounts people had and who the utility providers were. This becomes that central location to take the guesswork out of it. And it becomes a place that's organized, making it much easier of a process for those loved ones in case anything ever happened to them. But mind you, Everplans is not only used for that emergency situation or for that dire situation where it becomes valuable, but it's also used as a life management tool. So I hear all of these different examples where Everplans becomes really valuable for family members when they're sharing information. It might be where a family is going overseas and they use Everplans as their virtual wallet to store their passport and their other travel documents. We hear lots of examples like that where Everplans becomes really valuable day to day. And that interactive feature, that interactive capability within the Everplan allows someone to take a really easy way of figuring out what types of documents and information they need to include. And this is a good example right here where I went into the home ownership section. And if I changed it from a property that's owned to a property that's rented, it's no longer asking me for the deed of that property, but now it's asking me about that lease and what the expiration lease of that property is. And that's an important differentiation between Everplan and, of course, that box in the basement, but also any of those other online vaults that might be out there. We have a whole section here for digital world. Think about your own life and how many logins and passwords you have. And we hear on average it's about 200 that a particular person has. And it doesn't have to be the place where you keep every single login and password, but think about the password manager or maybe even just a hint to what that password is. And think about the other places of your life, like that lock code for your iPhone, where chances are you have two-factor authentication set up for a lot of your accounts, and your loved ones would never be able to access them if they didn't know how to get into your iPhone. We have a whole section for health and medical, so information like your doctors and advanced directives. A whole section for financial information, and we're not looking to take the place of your financial planning tool or other financial softwares. We're looking to be the place where people organize and store their most important information and keep it top of mind. But we're not looking to be the place that has all the different assets that make up a particular mutual fund or that are part of your asset management program. We have a whole section for legal, so attorneys and wills and power of attorneys. A whole section for elder care. And many of the broker-dealers we're working with now and the financial advisors and RIAs and wealth management firms, they're all focused on helping their aging clients really think through aspects of their lives that unfortunately nobody is acting as a quarterback for. And many firms that are out there are calling this longevity planning. And we have sections like this elder care living wishes, which allows the advisor, allows yourselves to drive conversations with your clients, or maybe even with your clients and their family members around topics that are really important. And if you have any baby boomer clients, this is stuff that they need to be thinking about, like how do they want to be taken care of in their later years? Do they want to be independent? Do they want to have be able to prepare their own meals or drive their own cars or live with pets? And it's these kinds of conversations that also allow a financial advisor, if they're driving them not only to show their clients that they care about them more than assets, but also to drive the conversation with the rest of the family members so that the client's family members know how important of a role that financial advisor is taking. And then you have this after I'm gone section, and it becomes this place that's a lot more personal, a lot less factual like some of the other sections, for families and your clients to think through all this type of information that's a lot more personal, like thoughts about their life, information about possessions and keepsakes that just for whatever reason did not make it to the will. Information about family cherished memories like antique photos or short videos, or the favorite family recipe that we know always gets lost in the bottom of one of those boxes or in a 3-ring binder. So you'll see here as I go back to the dashboard, 29 sections, 6 categories. It's a lot of information. And we realize that, and we don't expect people to go on and fill out the entire Everplan in one setting or one sitting. And as I mentioned before, the pre-population capabilities that are built with Everplans really helps, or with Redtail integration, really helps to get the Everplan kickstarted and get it filled out. And then once you hand it over to your client, after you've had some time to use it as an exploration process, getting a better feel for the things that matter to your clients, you hand it back to your client, and then they can go on and fill out other sections of the Everplan. But what we also do is break the Everplan down into little bits and pieces using the Everplan's proprietary guidance engine. And that guidance engine you'll see here, in this example, Irving, he's recently married, recently had children, and it's making a suggestion that he should probably add his life insurance policy. And then it's giving some other suggestions beneath that. You'll see here that it's asking me to add my insurance carrier. In this example, I'll use USAA, and I'll press submit, which will then allow me to start filling out that insurance policy and other information about it. I can drag and drop a file. I can add other information about the type of policy that it is. You know, maybe it's a term policy, maybe even the policy number. And I don't have to add all of this. I can add as much or as little as I feel comfortable adding. But at the very least, much different than if I didn't do anything, enough information to lead my family members to where all this information can be found. And here, the bottom, the most important piece, is a little context. So here's where I would say, this is the policy that we purchased right after our first daughter was born. Make sure you contact Harris, or in this example, Michael Acme, who's going to be able to tell you all about this coverage that we picked up. I'm going to go ahead and save it. I now added my life insurance policy. And then important, you'll see here on the right-hand side, our goal is to always make sure that we're pointing your clients back to you, back to the financial advisor. Remember, we're looking at an example of Irving's Everplan. So this is as if Irving is logged in. So when he's in this experience, he's got this get it done, which is going to give him a little bit more information and point him back to you, his financial advisor. And then you'll see here, I'm always one click away from Michael Acme, my advisor, so I can ask Michael any questions. And I mentioned before, when Everplans got started, we started with content. And you'll see content throughout our entire experience of the Everplan. And we're working closely, if you're affiliated with a broker-dealer, we're working closely to get this content approved with your particular broker-dealer. We give a very high level, very descriptive, not prescriptive understanding of what life insurance is. And if people want to drill down and learn more, we have thousands of pieces of content to help guide them to think about how to purchase life insurance. Again, very descriptive to give them an understanding of what life insurance is. I'll go back to the dashboard. You'll see now the guidance engine is telling me that I should probably think about adding information about benefits and pensions, emergency contacts, and other health information. And then it's pointing me to other resources and a link to be able to learn a little bit more about maybe an advanced directive or checklist to help me get organized. And keep in mind, many advisors that we're working with and many firms that we're working with are using our content as part of their engagement strategy. They're using it to drive seminars and webinars, part of their social media strategy, and using it as a way to get clients in the door or prospects in the door to turn them into clients. Now, once we fill out the Everplan, we start to get it filled out, The third aspect is sharing. And we call the people, as I mentioned earlier, we call those people that you share your Everplans with deputies. Deputies can be anyone. It can be a brother, a sister, a sibling, a spouse, and it's usually the financial advisor as well. And I can pick and choose exactly which sections I want to share with those loved ones, and I can hide the other ones. And we just announced recently a new feature, which I'm showing you today, which is called SAD, Sharing After Death. So there might be some sections that your clients don't want to share with their loved ones right away, and they might only want to share them after they pass away. And I can hide certain sections so that they can only see those sections after they're gone. And I can share particular sections with those specific loved ones or my financial advisor that I'd like to share them with. And then the only other person that can edit the Everplan is that financial advisor. And the financial advisor can request access to the Everplan so that they can edit or update sections in advance of one of those quarterly or annual meetings that you might be having. Now, I mentioned before how we're seeing financial advisors use Everplans, but I want to go back to that for a second because we've seen a lot of success with this. And it's a 4 or 5 stage process where advisors first use Everplans as a way to show their clients and market to their clients that they're doing something unique and they're using a tool that's innovative to help their clients and their family members become organized and prepared. They use our content to build that credibility, and they use messaging to show their clients that they're offering something that's very valuable that not too many others are offering. They then use tools like Redtail to integrate and pre-populate the Everplan. And they use tools like Redtail to get some of that information in, to do show a maximum amount of value with a minimal amount of effort. And even if it's just taking 5 or 10 minutes to get some of that information into the Everplan, they then, as a next step, schedule a meeting or a web meeting even over some video sharing or some screen sharing. And they show their clients what they did for them. They show them that they've gone in and pre-populated the Everplan, filled it out, and they got it kick-started for them and their family members. And they're being thanked for that work that they did. They then use it as an opportunity to ask them, well, who would you share this Everplan with? Who are those other family members? Do you have children that are on the West Coast that I might not have met or on the East Coast that I might not have been introduced to yet? And then they use it as an opportunity to start to uncover gaps. They then hand that Everplan over to the client so that they can start to fill out some of the other sections and keep it maintained over the course of the year. But what's really interesting and what we're finding to be really valuable for practices that are looking to have a higher touch point with their clients, they're then using the Everplan as a way to reach out to their clients for that quarterly or annual meeting and use it as an opportunity to start to have that dialogue throughout the year. And they incorporate Everplans for 5 or 10 minutes in the beginning or end of that meeting that they do on a regular basis. And they start to uncover gaps. So I want to show you what the Everplan looks like once you get it filled out. And then I'm going to show you one final integration into the Redtail system that I think you're going to find really valuable and interesting. This is what the Everplan looks like. It has a consolidated view of all of the sections that we've gone in to fill out. I can drill down into any section. I can see which sections have been filled out. I can access it from anywhere in the world. It's highly mobile optimized. And for those deputies that I've assigned, they'll be able to see specific sections of the Everplan that I've granted access to them along. I also have the ability to download the entire Everplan and print it out in a PDF, and it's highly customizable so I can change this photo so it's personalized with my family's picture. So once I've gotten the Everplan filled out, I've collaborated with my financial advisor. I've gone in to fill out the Everplan on my own as a client. So Irving here has gone in and he started to update certain sections. And in this example here, let's say your client, Irving, went in and started updating sections. I'm back into the Redtail environment and into the Redtail view. And if I go to the Today screen, you're going to see a familiar view. But if I scroll down to the bottom, once you've set up the Everplans integration, you're going to see recent Everplans activity. And this is where we're providing financial advisors with actionable steps, actionable information to give you a reason to call your client about something that's going to help you to to better understand what their needs are, to help you to develop a holistic understanding of the things that matter to them, and maybe give you a reason to uncover a gap in their planning. You might find out in this example here, like Irving just updated his life insurance section on today, July 10th. If you weren't involved in that, it might be enough information for you to reach out and understand the type of coverage that Irving picked up. We heard examples from other financial advisors who have found out that their client updated their career section, their employment section, and found out that the client changed jobs. And with that phone call, they were able to uncover that there was a 401k that hasn't yet been rolled over, and they're able to appreciate new assets. And there's a lot of opportunity here as you start to add more and more of your clients onto the Everplan for you to uncover little bits and pieces and reasons to give your clients a call, or reasons to maybe reach out and find out that there's an aspect of their planning that needs attention.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that back. So we'll go ahead and take back the screen share. Also, one thing is I want everybody to understand that Everplans has gone ahead and created a landing page. So if you are interested and you're already an Everplans user and you want to look into Redtail, or vice versa, you're a Redtail user looking to take advantage of the power that Everplans provides, you can go to their website at everplans.com/Redtail. And they have some good information over there. If you have any questions, about today, or maybe you kind of leave and you do come up with a question, feel free to reach out to us at Redtail at support@redtailtechnology.com. Harris, is there somebody they can reach out to if they have an Everplans question?
Sure, they can reach out just to Harris, Harris, at everplans.com, or please, by all means, feel free to just visit everplans.com/Redtail, where you'll be able to sign up for Everplans or get more information.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate your time. And again, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys back the rest of the day. But again, I appreciate you guys being here, and we'll talk with you soon.